So welcome guys back to another video in the channel. We are doing another episode of Arsenal Transfer News Daily. Today's episode will be circulated around Aouar and the latest news that a deal could be done this week for Aouar, as Aulas has set a deadline for him, and he basically said in an interview with Canal Plus that Arsenal need to get the deal done by Friday and they won't be selling any players past Friday. Now it does make sense, as they want to get their business done as early as possible. Yes, I know it's still a week left, but clubs don't want to leave their business till the final day. Also, we're reacting to the breaking news that Lyon are close to signing Paqueta from Milan. Now, Lucas Paqueta, if you don't know, I did talk about him actually a few weeks ago and the possibility of him actually moving to Lyon as part of Lyon getting rid of Aouar. Now, Lucas Paqueta is a player from Lyon, young player, 21 years old, I believe, plays in the exact same position as number 8/number 9, and I think he's a player. Again, I rate him a lot. I wouldn't mind him at Arsenal, definitely, but I think he's a player that would be perfect fit for Lyon, as they are trying to build a young core, and they could be willing to let go of Aouar, or they are preparing for life without Aouar. Also, Fabrizio Romano given an update on Aouar. He's actually, he was the one who gave me the news about Lucas Paqueta, and he has suggested that Olympique Lyon have reached an agreement with AC Milan to sign Lucas Paqueta. Deal almost done. Last deal is to be completed soon. This is the one you can see on the thumbnail. He also added to that Arsenal are still pushing to sign Aouar from Olympique Lyon. Talks are also on today. So by the time this video comes out, there could be more developments which I could add to this video. But no agreement has been reached yet. A lot of news that Aulas wants around 60 million euros, but we're only willing to pay 50 million euros. He also said Paqueta will sign his contract as new Olympique Lyon player on next 2 days. Personal terms have been agreed until June 2025. AC Milan will sell him on a permanent deal. Here we go. So he has said here we go on Paqueta. That means basically they have signed their replacement for Aouar should they let him go, and Arsenal have confirmed to Aouar's agent that they're still negotiating and will try and sign. I will add that Mikel Arteta has said that Arsenal could be very busy in the transfer window. Now, obviously, we are looking to sign Aouar and Partey. David Ornstein did report on this as well. He suggested that Arsenal are more likely to get Aouar than Partey. I think this is down to the fact that Aouar's deal will be done in installments, because Partey's release clause will obviously be £45 million up front. Now we got all that factual stuff out where I just want to discuss the possibility of the bids. A lot of reports suggesting that we did make a second cash offer bid. Obviously the 35 million euros we offered, the 36 million euros we offered originally got rejected by Lyon, and then a few days later we came back in with the second bid, which was 38 million euros. That was reported by Get French Football News and L'Equipe, and that has also been rejected, which was around 3 million euros above. I don't know what Arsenal were playing at, thinking that offering 3 million euros above will get the deal secured. Now, more reports are coming out today that they will try and match Lyon's price tag, which is around 50 odd million euros, and they said they're going to offer 48 million euros, and they're going to add some add-ons onto it, which will lead it on to 55 million euros, the price that Lyon want for the player. So a deal can be secured in the next few days. As I said, reports are suggesting this. I am talking very hypothetically. This couldn't be true. This could be true. But, I think we are going to offer, we are going to increase our bids very fast, because obviously if Aulas wants to get all his business done before Friday, if they're signing Paqueta before Friday, that means they'll probably try and get rid of Aouar before Friday. Lyon, they want to sell players. They're not in European football this season, and they're financially a bit hit by Corona, so they will be trying to get players out of the door, and Aouar is one of their best players. And the fact that they've replaced him by spending 20 million euros on Lucas Paqueta says a lot, because because he plays in the same position. So obviously they're not going to have two big name players, young players in the same position. So I think they could be looking to bring Aouar out of the door, which will be a huge boost for us, because we can get the deal secured as quickly as possible. But yeah, we will be talking about some players we could possibly get rid of later in the episode, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But obviously Aouar, he's a big name player. We're talking about him the entire transfer window. I still remember me filming that video on holiday when we were linked to Aouar, when he was linked to Juventus and Man City. I was like, no, we aren't getting this Champions League superstar player that's played so well in the Champions League, aced past Man City, aced past Juventus. There surely can't be a way, but it looks like we could have found a way, because it looks like Man City and Juventus have pulled out of a potential deal. Now this could be huge for us, because Aouar is one of the big players we need in terms of creativity down the midfield. And I've done a whole separate video talking about his strengths, weaknesses, so go check that out in my channel. It'll be like a few weeks ago I made that video, so it's worth checking that out as well. Fabrizio Romano has also said that Arsenal are in talks for the Aouar today. So that third bid I'm talking about of around 48 million euros plus maybe 7 million in add-ons, that could take it to around 55 million euros. Remember, a few weeks ago, I said this myself. I said this to you guys, that is the kind of bid that will be needed to secure a deal, realistic fee to try and get a deal done for Houssem Aouar. Now, Fabrizio said Arsenal are in talks today, so maybe tonight we could hear some news on this, and maybe we could see a bid going in, a bid possibly being accepted, because I think when Aulas says something, he probably is not lying. He will not be lying about it, because obviously, if they want to get all their business done by Friday, they will most likely get all their business done by Friday. And Houssem Aouar, do you guys think we'll sign him in the end? I personally think this is edging in the right direction. That's all I'm going to say at the moment. A few days ago, I said this is in a balance. Now I'm saying it's leaning towards the right direction. So there has been some positive movement in terms of personal terms. Fabrizio has said himself, we've known this myself, personal terms have basically been agreed. They haven't been officially signed, but they're thought to be not an issue. He would sign a 5-year deal worth up to £100,000 a week. Again, not a lot considering the likes of Sead Kolasinac are on £160,000 a week, and he isn't earning a lot at Lyon anyway. So I think this will be a really good deal for us to get done, and hopefully we can try to secure this one in the next few days so we can sell more players that we'll be talking about in a bit, and possibly on deadline day go after Thomas Partey's release clause, which would be exceptional for us to do. But again, I still do think we need a right back. I did say this in my player ratings. If you haven't checked that out, it's my last video in the channel. And Thomas Partey, no new news on him, but the Houssem Aouar news is quite a lot of news. Talks are still on. Second bid got rejected of 38 million euros. A third bid is going to go in for around 48 million euros, so a very much substantial bid for him. And fourthly, Aulas has set a deadline of Friday, which we hope to meet, and then hopefully we can secure the signing. So that is the news on Houssem Aouar. Hopefully that helps you guys understand the situation. So I'm going to be moving on and talking about some players we could be letting go in the rest of this window. Mikel Arteta, as I said earlier in the episode, he said he's going to be very busy towards this last week of the transfer window. So it'll be very interesting to see players we end up letting go, especially if we are going to be trying to fund deals for the likes of Houssem Aouar and Thomas Partey. But the one I wanted to talk about, there are quite a few on to talk about that we could be letting go, and one of them is Lucas Torreira. Now Fabrizio Romano, the one and only guy, has given an update on the player, and he suggested the agent of Lucas Torreira is now in Madrid to meet with Atletico and negotiations on between Atleti and Arsenal to complete the agreement. AFC are still asking for a permanent deal. Atleti are going to make a new bid. Talks on. That has come from Mateo Moreto, very close to Atletico Madrid, and it looks like a deal can be reached. Obviously, we did report a few days ago Arsenal were looking for a permanent deal for Lucas Torreira. That's why Torino Chiefs came out and said that they couldn't fund the deal for Torreira because they wanted a loan plus optional obligation to buy the player. Fiorentina, it's gone really quiet with them. It doesn't look like they're going to sign him either. So it'll be very interesting to see who actually gets him. I think it will be Atletico Madrid. I don't think Thomas Partey will be part of the deal. I have said this before. They've always insisted on the release clause, and that will be it. Fabrizio said it himself. It's going to be the 50 million euro release clause or nothing if he leaves this summer. And I've always said, we could get Aouar signed, sealed, delivered by Thursday, Friday, and then go after Thomas Partey on deadline day. I've always said that's a possibility, and I still think that is a possibility, but obviously we'll have to move very fast. We've left this way too late. We've wasted pretty much 11 weeks of the transfer window doing I don't know what, so we really have to get this Aouar one sorted. Lucas Torreira, can we get this one over the line? What will Atletico accept, because if, let's say Arsenal say to Atleti, we're going to pay Thomas Partey's release clause eventually, you can take Lucas Torreira on a permanent deal. They've just sold Alvaro Morata for a combined 48-something million euros, but they'll get next year. So maybe Arsenal can do an option plus obligation to buy. I think that's the only way Atleti will be able to get Torreira, but it's very interesting to see what happens. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think Torreira will leave in this transfer window? Next one I wanted to talk about briefly was Mustafi, Squadron Mustafi. He is still being linked with Lazio. It looks like that Lazio and Arsenal are still trying to agree on a fee to sign Squadron Mustafi. Now Lazio have just agreed a deal to sign Andreas Pereira from Manchester United, so it's quite possible they're also looking at Mustafi to bring in on a permanent deal, because obviously they've saved quite a lot of money on bringing in Pereira on a loan premise, with an option to buy next year for around 27 million euros. Again, confirmed by Fabrizio. It's not official yet, but it is basically done because Fabrizio said it. You know, you can't deny that guy. He's like literally the Messi of transfers in the transfer window. So it does look like Mustafi could possibly leave. Personal terms and anything like that have all been agreed. Salary's all been agreed with Lazio. It's just about trying to get a deal over the line. We've got a lot of centre-backs at the club, so it does look like Mustafi's going to be quite down the pecking order, especially when Mikel Arteta pretty much begged, I think that's the right terminology to use here, begged Rob Holding to stay. And obviously you've got Gabriel, David Luiz, Callum Chambers coming back from injury, and Chiellini is obviously playing at centre-back, so it does look like we're quite stocked in that area. Maybe Mustafi's a player would like to let go, especially when his contract runs down next year, and maybe we could try and get some money for him. Brought him in for around £35 million from Valencia. Hasn't overly worked for him. He's been alright, I guess, and but he hasn't lived up to his price tag, especially the kind of price tag we brought him in for when he joined, the fourth or third most expensive German or something. That was crazy when we brought him in, the price tag. And it's not been great, has it? Another one of those Wenger players, isn't it? And hope Lazio can secure a deal to sign him. But that is the news on Squadron Mustafi as the deal edges closer for him to join Lazio in Italy. Next player I wanted to touch on is Mesut Ozil. Now, Mesut Ozil is a player. He's not been any of the matchday squads this season. Very, very worrying, isn't it? And it does look like his time at Arsenal is up. But will he leave in the summer transfer window? I think as it goes on, as the window goes on, I think as we edge towards the end of the window, I think it's looking very, very unlikely that we are going to get rid of him. He's obviously not in Mikel Arteta's plans. Those clips coming around, from Arsenal's training pictures, that he wasn't wearing the number 10. He was wearing Lacazette's trousers because he's number 9. So maybe 10's been stripped off him. Could be given to Aouar. Who knows? Just putting it out there. Not suggesting anything in that respect. But maybe. Who knows? But yeah, Mesut Ozil, we really need to get rid of him, don't we? And hopefully... I don't see how we can get rid of him, can we? I really don't know. And Outside came in. Why didn't that deal get done? Unless it was fake news. Hopefully it was fake news because, but I think we are going to be stuck with Mesut Ozil, and we are just going to have to chuck him in the under-23s team or something like that. And that is the news on Mesut Ozil. Left out on the matchday squads, but looks like he's going nowhere. Last player I quickly wanted to touch on before we end this video is Alexandre Lacazette. Now, David Ornstein has actually come out and said that Roma were actually interested in Lacazette before, the deal was sort of turned down. There were, I'll just read out what David Ornstein said. Let me just bring this up. But yeah, Lacazette, again, he's a player, worked so hard against Liverpool, played pretty well in my opinion. He did miss a few chances, obviously, but just looking at what David Ornstein said, he said that Lacazette was subject to recent interest from Roma, but money they were willing to pay for a permanent deal fell below Arsenal's asking price. That was from The Athletic via David Ornstein, and that is quite surprising in my opinion, because what was Arsenal's price tag? Was it 30 million pounds? What did Roma offer? That's very interesting. It's come out of absolutely nowhere, but I think especially in this transfer window, it really does look like that Lacazette will stay at the club. There were reports coming out that maybe we could sell him, and still some news articles are saying that we could sell Lacazette to fund deals for the likes of Thomas Partey, Houssem Aouar, obviously, but it does look like he'll stay, and obviously he's got 2 years left on his deal, under 2 years left. So will Arsenal offer him a new deal? Will he go in January? I think this could be something that's done in January. Who knows? Only time will tell. But yeah, that is the news on Alexandre Lacazette, as he was subject to interest from Roma, but they fell below the asking price that Arsenal set for him. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Yes, this was circulated around Houssem Aouar, obviously. Hopefully a deal can be struck in the next 24 hours as we head towards the transfer deadline, which is October the 5th. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.